Hey, what's up YouTube? Coin Flip back, and we have another box of quarters. This one's that 4402. It's been pretty good to us, the stamp has. We just haven't got any silver so far this year in the quarter boxes. So obviously we're hopeful we can get one of those tonight. But let's get it cracked open, see what we got. All right, well, here we have it. Looks like we do have some nice circulated quarters here for us. Hopefully we can get on some silver. That would be cool. And a nice, pleasant surprise anyway. We have been getting W's, averaging about one a box so far. So that's also nice to have. We do have some of those possibilities here. But we're going to dive into roll number 1 and bring you in on our very first find. Figured I'd open up roll number 1 with you guys. See what we got. Nothing really jumping out here abnormal anyway. What we're going to be looking for is any varieties or airs, as always. If you've never been part of a coin roll hunt or done one, basically you're going to be looking for low mintage quarters, which in this case are going to be W mints. We're going to be looking for silver or any airs or varieties. So we'll show you anything that we find as we cross one. But we're not going to make you watch the whole thing, so we'll see you back once we find one to give you a look at. All right, we're on roll number 2, and we have our first 22 quarter. And basically, you're looking right here in the crease of the mouth. You'll see that die chip. They call this the Drooling George. We found a lot of these. They used to sell for $1 or $2, or maybe a hair more, but we'll pull it as a find. I haven't had much luck selling them. Market's pretty saturated on that, but technically it is an error, so we will put that on the board for you, but just wanted to show you that one. Roll 29. It's been a pretty slow hunt, but we just found a proof. It's pretty beat up, pretty circulated. 2001 Rhode Island proof. We'll put it on the board. Let's keep going. We're on roll 32, and we have a 1965 under the scope here. And you're looking for the DDO, which is going to have some doubling, In God We Trust, and then some of the other letters. But I've pulled one of these before just to keep them. These older quarters, that are, this one especially, they're kind of beat up. It's hard to tell, but if you look at the R, the U, and the S, there is a little bit of doubling there, possibly on the E. Just hard to tell when they're beat up. And then down here on the 9, and sometimes this can be confused with like machine doubling. Basically, when I've seen that, you'll have, you know, a little small line that follows the contour of the neck, and it'll be on pretty much every letter. So this one is not quite theirs. It's just hard to say. Let me know what you think. Again, doubling it can be tricky, and then other times it can be very obvious. Some of these older ones, again, I feel like I still have a tough time, but let me know what you think in the comments. 1965, is it one of the doubling or DDOs? Let me know. Roll 37, and I think we're going to have our second proof. This one's an Eagleback. What year? 81 proof. That's pretty cool. Second proof of the hunt. And we're getting towards the back, but some neat finds so far. All right, we're on roll 42, and we have the Kansas State quarter. Don't mind my computer. It sounds angry at me. But you notice it says, "In God We Rust" on the Philadelphia here. And basically that's one of the errors of that T not getting punched in there. So that's the first one of those we find. You can see it is in there, but it's just not in there very good. In God We Rust. Another find for the board. All right, we're on roll 45. We have a 2023 Bessie Coleman under the scope here. And basically what we're looking at is that EC initials, basically how it's doubled like it is there. It's essentially doubling, but I think you can get a couple bucks for this on eBay. If you wanted to try, we might give it a shot, see how it goes. I've seen them as much as 5, or I think even a small few, $10. Obviously, condition always plays a role. But basically that's what you're looking at on these 2023 Bessie Coleman. You can also look for the plain, the burning plain air, which this one does not have, but basically it'll be a die chip up here to look like a burning plain. So we'll put that on the board as a find. And we are almost done, but pretty slow start. And we have not found our coveted W quarter yet. We have had a lot of 19s and 20s, so we're still hopeful we can squeeze one out of here in the last couple rolls. All right, well, that's going to wrap up this hunt. We did okay. It was pretty slow going the first half of the box, but did end up with a few finds. Unfortunately, no W mint quarters. We had probably the most 19 and 20 Denver and Phillies we've had in a box, so we're pretty hopeful we were going to find one, but unfortunately didn't get one of those, and still no silver in these boxes for us in the quarters. So we'll go over some of the finds, and this was a 23 Bessie Coleman, and we're looking at that EC air, and it's basically just down here in the corner. You're going to need a scope to see it, but this one's actually in pretty good shape, I would say, overall. Obviously they're pretty new, so you're going to have that, but anyway, they do go for a couple bucks on eBay. So it seems for the sold listings. We did have two 22 Denvers. These are both the Maya Angelou. And both of these have a little bit of a die chip for the Drooling George Air. And then we did have Kansas 2005 in God We Rust right over here. So that T, I'm not sure if you can see it or not, but basically can't quite make out that T all the way. Then we had one of our proof coins. This was a 2001 Rhode Island. This one's pretty beat up, but it is an S mint proof. And then this one, this is that 81S, and this thing is in really, really good condition. You can see the awesome cameo on the obverse and also on the reverse. So very neat to see those mirrored finishes with the cameo on the front and back of those. And then lastly, we had the 65, which has some sort of doubling. It's just hard to make out, really. And it doesn't quite match up with Variety Vista, but that's probably your best source is Variety Vista for any of those to get you an idea. So questionable, I would say, but let me know what you think. I just feel like it would have more doubling on every letter if it was machine doubling, but I could be wrong. Again, I am not an expert in that. I know some of the half dollars we've found, when you see it, it's obvious, but then there's others that are just not as obvious, and those are the ones I'm not very good at, I will say that. But nonetheless, hope you guys like this video. We did get some finds, and we will get back after it and see you on the next one. Coin Flip out.